Greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlighten, Empowered, Evolved. I hope everybody's doing well. Wait, I believe everybody's doing well, and everything is unfolding perfectly. I'm excited yet again because I have an amazing guest, an extraordinary woman joining me today, Cija Ebeling. And before she tells us about herself and about whatever she wants to talk about, I'm going to tell you, us, me, you, all of us, something about her. So listen up. You don't want to miss any of this. So Dr. Cija Ebeling, Ph.D., is a graduate of the University of Sedona. She earned her Ph.D. in holistic life counseling and helps clients through their spiritual awakening to find their true life purpose and mission. She is a certified sound therapist, in which she does in-office chakra balancing with her chakra tuned crystal singing bowls. Kind of a tongue twister there, but that's amazing. And also hosts community sound bath events several times a month. She is also certified in clinical hypnotherapy, targeting the mental reasons for physical ailments to accelerate the healing process through hypnosis. She is also well known in the spiritual community for her past life regression events and one-on-one sessions to help clients recognize repeating life patterns and learn how to enhance them or eliminate them altogether, including past life trauma, which may be evident in this current lifetime. Dr. Ebeling is also a certified master herbalist and creates her own line of pain relief. What is that? Salves?
Yes, salves.
Yes, salves to help clients with the symptoms of pain while healing the mental aspect of their dis-ease. That's amazing. And I already have some questions just from reading this, but how are you doing today, Cija Ebeling?
I'm doing amazing, and thanks for inviting me on to your show. I'm grateful and honored to be here to answer any questions and just to give you information about who I am and what I do.
Yes, and I just want to, before we get started, express my sincerest gratitude to you for spending part of your time, some of your time, taking time out of your timeline, out of your schedule to be here. Because as I've repeated often, I believe time is one of our most precious assets, and for you to spend some of your time with me is priceless. So I want to thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But yes, let's just get right into it. So you have so much here. So you, a PhD, doctor, I mean, you graduated University of Sedona. You earned your PhD in holistic life counseling. So what unfolded for you to go in that direction? To get a, yes, go ahead. Because I got more coming.
Well, actually, 10 years ago, I went through a very traumatic separation with a domestic violence. I had to escape in the middle of the night with my two girls and became a single mom living in my car. And I thought to myself, I'm never going to let this happen again. So I needed to learn how to stop the cycle of domestic violence in my life, because I had to realize that I was also contributing to that as well, but I didn't know how or how to get out of that cycle. So I did a lot of studies in psychology and just domestic violence education. We have a group here in town that actually provides that education for women that are going through this. And I participated in that. And it took me 4 times to leave that relationship. And I know so many people struggle with the same problem, not just women, but men as well.
Right. But mostly women from what I've heard. But yes, go ahead, because this, not to interrupt your flow, but right off the bat, this right here is very important, and I know it's going to impact and inspire a lot of people. Yes, so go ahead. So it took you 4 times to finally leave this, and then
yes. So
yes.
even though it's going through homelessness with my children, I still didn't want them to see me struggle or be scared like I was. So we did so many different adventures. We spent a lot of time in nature, which is my daughter actually just took her to college last week, and she's getting her education in economical sciences and adventure education. So she's going to be
Wow,
doing all
congratulations.
kinds of stuff in nature, and it's going to be fun. It's a fun degree. Not many kids after high school know exactly what they want. I know I
Right,
didn't. So,
right,
but
right.
it took this experience to make me think outside of the box, because when you hit rock bottom, I think you can see the top better from that perspective, because you'll do anything to get to where, to get out of that environment. And that's what I did. I went through my spiritual awakening. I realized that my reality was not what it seemed. And so many nights I spent just seeing different visions of what was really going on in the world. And I'm like, surely I'm not the only one seeing this or experiencing this. So I started looking into different education so I can learn more about what I was going through. And the University of Sedona actually has a doctoral program specifically for education in things beyond the physical, or metaphysics, if you will.
Wow,
And that was really appealing to me. And it was a non-traditional education for the non-traditional soul. It
wow,
didn't.
yeah, yes, because I've never heard that.
Oh, it was such a blessing to be able to find that, because I was
Right,
really searching for a long time, asked a lot of questions around. I knew other practitioners in my area that were doing alternative work. I'm like, this is amazing. I wanted to get into healing arts because I was broken and I wanted to help others that were broken too. And just sharing my experience and basically kind of guiding them, um, helping guide them on their journey, and learning what they're developing their passion, and learning what they really want, and studying and focusing on what you want and not what you want, what you don't want.
what you don't
Law
want.
of
Right,
attraction,
right,
big,
right.
big into that. And I teach that to my children. I teach that to anyone that talks to me. It's my favorite thing to talk about, besides the clinical hypnotherapy side, the mental connection to the physical disease. That's something I love talking about in my community, and how to heal from the chronic conditions that we experience, especially
Right,
with very difficult relationships. When your circumstances are just shaken around you, you just don't think, you can't focus on anything other than what's going on. But when I
right,
escaped is when I was able to open my mind and become this version of myself that I knew existed.
right.
And
Yeah,
funny.
trauma. If I may elaborate, yes, I totally understand, because when we're in a situation of trauma, I mean, it's easy for other people on the outside to give advice of what they would do, but when you're in it, you most of the time, I know from my experience, you can't think straight,
Mm-mm.
and nothing makes sense, and all you're doing, you get into survival mode, you get into, well, maybe this will get better mode. Your mind is everywhere. So
Yeah.
I totally resonate with that. And hold your thought, because I got to say one more thing that's so powerful that I never get tired of highlighting. And that is, oftentimes we, before a transformation, when we start to reach towards our higher self, it's because we've hit that rock bottom. And I have um, have interviewed a lot of people with that same narrative, including myself. And that right there is amazing. Matter of fact, I just want to share one thing that I just put up today. So I know none of this is coincidental, because I just put this up today. I just put it up. If you go on my page, I put it up 2 hours ago, and it says, someday your pain will become the source of your strength. Face it, brave it, you'll make it. So what you just said was meant to be said right now.
Yes.
Go ahead, Kia. Wow. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I don't remember where I left off, but I put myself through school. I spent a lot of time in my room studying. Eventually got out of homelessness. I did spend some living room floor nights at my friends' houses, but I figured out how to purchase tax lien properties. So I bought a house for $100 and I moved in with my girls. My neighbor moved in with me, who was a friend of mine, and because he was also going through a difficult experience with his relationship. And about a year and a half later, we got married. I know it was kind of an
Look how
unusual
things work.
experience.
Wow.
Yes, but we'd been friends for like 15 years before that. So I really trusted this guy. He was always there. He knew the things that I didn't like about what I had went through, the domestic violence, and he was always there to lend a shoulder to cry on. And so I'm like, why am I not looking at this? I put him in a friend zone so many years ago. So I decided to take him out because nice guys can finish. They can get the girl. And I don't have no regrets. I asked him to marry me, so it was kind of we have opposite roles in our family. I'm the breadwinner, he's the stay-at-home dad, and we have 6 children.
Nothing wrong with that.
4 his,
Nothing
2
wrong
of mine,
with that.
blended family. Yeah.
Right. You
So
have to do what
needed,
makes. Excuse me. You have to do what makes you happy. There is no template. You make your own template,
right.
and that's part of my awakening of what I've realized too. Stop following other people's narratives and what they say is the right format. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I remember when I was younger, my parents would get upset with me when I would date someone that didn't have a job.
Right.
I wasn't about to tell my husband. My husband's a stay-at-home dad. I didn't care. It works. I needed someone to be there for the kids, to pick them up after school and take them to activities. He's my taxi driver too, and he does amazing. Oh,
someone you can really trust and
absolutely
connect with.
Yes.
That's important, and all the other things, right? It's really not important. I mean, you're living and surviving, and everything is working the way it's working right now. So, yeah, it really doesn't matter what anybody else's expectations or what their definition or their perspectives are. I mean, which people are always going to have their opinions.
This is why it was so important to have him as my support while going through the school, because I was raised in a very religious family, and this type of education was not something that they would support.
Right.
I didn't care. This was something that I wanted to do. And so I did it. My husband's support. He was also going through his awakening. We went through this together, which was beautiful. Now we're still transforming, and we will never stop transforming because we love growing.
I love that.
So, but I enjoy helping people in the community that are going through similar circumstances. I used to teach tax lien seminars, how to buy property for $69 and $100 and flip it. But that was just part of my early journey that helped me pay for school and live where I was living. I actually still live in the house now.
Right.
I'll upgrade eventually, but it's nice not having a mortgage or rent. It's that's during this time right now.
You feel it's very nice, and you can't replace that feeling of being debt free. Right. So take your time. If it's nothing uncomfortable for being there, take your time.
I've been the happiest there. It's the longest place I've lived in Colorado.
Right.
So
right.
I'm not. I will take my time. Thanks for the permission.
No permission. I'm just. It's just encouragement and support. Because I've experienced a lot of just things, ups and downs in lives, and I know what's most important is really your inner peace. All the other theatrics and everything else that come along with it doesn't mean anything, So you have a roof over your head, you're happy, you're safe, you're at peace. That's most important. If whatever you desire, you want to move somewhere just because you want to, okay, that's fine. But yes, I think you seem to, from just listening to you, and we haven't even got finished your entire story, but you seem to be moving in the direction of your peace. So that's very important, and your
Definitely.
happiness, and your contentment, and and what I like, what you just said, in my perspective, and what I resonate with, is that you never stop growing. So basically, you're reaching towards your higher self, and you're going to keep on doing that. We'll never reach our higher selves, but it's just a goal to reach towards. Just like if you look up at the North Star in the sky, you can use it as a guide, but you're never going to touch it.
Exactly.
You know. So
Yeah.
yes, so that's amazing for you to put that energy and that out there, that, for not only yourself, but for me and other people, to remind us and encourage us that never going to stop growing. Always be in a state where you're open and willing to learn and grow and change and evolve. And that's a nonstop process. And that's very important.
Growing is sometimes painful and uncomfortable.
Oftentimes.
But when people ask me what I do for a living, I'm like, whatever it takes, I am going to do it. And I've never stopped. My kids have watched my growth. I didn't start growing up until I had kids.
Right.
And they grew up with me, and they have turned into some really beautiful ladies. And my stepkids, I'm trying to set the best example I can for them as well, by bringing them into this type of environment, and they help me with my events, and I just want them to experience what it's like to build success, and that they can have whatever they desire. If you can think it, you can create it, and that's what we're doing together as a family. So, but I do, like I said, I do lectures in the community on the mental connection to physical disease, and I incorporate that information into my clinical hypnotherapy practice, where, say, for instance, you're having severe back pain.
Right.
An example of what's going on mentally is, well, our back is used to support the body. And so when you're feeling unsupported in your life, whether it's relationships, work related, or finances, this is where it's going to show up in the body as pain and inflammation. So during hypnotherapy, I can do pain management and get people to work through what they're not feeling supported in, and to change their perspective on how to look at it differently. In the meantime, I do create the pain salves to help heal on the outside while they're healing internally in their mind. So that's something that I really enjoy doing. And my past life regression work, that's my baby. And I never used to believe in that until I started remembering my own past lives, and the connection between our comfort zones, or where we're drawn to in the world. I've lived several times over in Germany in this lifetime, but I remember living there before, but not in this lifetime. So when I started remembering that, and that I also did herbal healing back in the day, I brought that wisdom forward into this life, and I have, a very successful herbal salve. I sell them on my Etsy shop, and I use them in my clinical hypnotherapy as well. So
let me interject right there too. How do you make the, since you've mentioned it a couple of times, I was going to wait because in your bio that's towards the end, but how do you create these herbal pain relief salves? How did you get into doing that? How do you know how to do that? And what do you do? How do you do it?
Yeah,
I'm not asking you to give me your secret recipes, but basically a little glimpse of how this process works.
I love talking about the ingredients that I use in my salves, because it grows everywhere. I use herbs that grow in my backyard and in the mountains here in Colorado. They grow everywhere. So it's, I don't know if you've heard of wild lettuce before, but it's also called opium lettuce. I needed to find a pain, something that I can relieve pain with without worrying about narcotics. I was on painkillers for so many years, and I got sick and tired of the side effects, and then more pills to cover those side effects, and the whole 13 pills a day just for one reason. And it didn't sit right with me after my awakening. I wanted to get rid of that. I wanted to heal naturally, and I knew that I could. So I started doing the research behind it. I didn't learn this in my PhD program. This was continued education, and I got my certification, or my master herbalist certification later. But I learned the herbs that'll target specific pains in the body, and I started creating the salves with that. But the wild lettuce, it looks like those tall dandelion plants in your backyard. If you Google wild lettuce, you'll be like, oh, I see that all the time, everywhere. So I
And that's
harvest that.
edible?
Yes, you can use it in a tea. You can cut it
Wow.
down. It's very, very bitter though, and your mouth will go numb just because it's also a sedative. So I
Right.
forged this. I first started using it as a tea, and then I started drying it and infusing it into like sweet almond oil or just different carrier oils, because when you expose the plant to heat, it expands, and I don't know the word. It takes the medicinal properties out of the plant, and the oil holds that. So you can add beeswax to your oil and create a salve out of it. But I
Wow.
use the wild lettuce. The arnica flowers are also good for muscle pains. The wild lettuce will help with joint and muscle pain. The arnica is more towards, like, if you go to a massage therapist, they use a lot of the arnica oils for massage oils on their pain clients. And then I also use this herb called Corydalis, which grows in the higher mountainous areas of Asia and in Africa and in the Himalayas. This targets nerve pain. So I've combined all of those herbs into one salve, which I use it as an extra strength. Not everybody needs the extra strength, but if you have nerve, joint, and muscle pain, this is the best salve to use for that.
So how is it administered to the body? Is it,
It's a topical salve. You
oh,
just
okay,
rub it on
you
the
rub it
area.
on the affected area.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's that easy. It doesn't, well, the harvesting portion of it and the drying of the herbs takes the longest time. I can create a salve. Once I get my oils infused with the herbs,
Right.
it'll store in my closet for up to a year. But I go through it so fast that they don't even last that long. But
Right.
these salves will last for months and months just on your shelf if you don't use it all the time. But
Are
my
they safe?
family,
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. Are they safe for everybody, children as well?
children, animals, yes, absolutely. If you don't have ragweed allergies, that's the only thing that you have to watch out for if you have allergies. And because it's a salve and it's rubbed externally, just watch the area that you've rubbed it in. If you develop a rash, obviously you're going to stop using it. But
Right.
this is 100% natural ingredients. I don't put any chemicals or anything that's not safe for the body in the salves, because I use it on my children as well. I wasn't selling it at first. I was just creating it for myself and my family. But I remember I took it out to a family reunion, and my father, who walks with a cane because he has severe
Right.
arthritis in his legs, um, I asked him if I could just rub it on his legs one night before bedtime. And he's like, okay, humor me. So I didn't have much faith that it would work. But the next day he was walking without his cane. And it was at that point, that was the first time I ever felt um, appreciated by my parents because of the path that I've taken. And
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
not religious, I'm just spiritual. And it was the first time I felt approval um, from my father and my parents. And now they talk about my salves and they give it to their friends, and they actually, or I would send it to my family for free, but they actually pay for it because it works so well. And I just, yeah, I don't know what else to say about that, but it's
No,
just,
that's amazing. And what you
it's,
just said, and we won't even dive deep into that, something you just said, but I resonate. I'm just letting you know that I've talked to a lot of people uh, that share that same story in regards to growing up in a religious family. Same here. And the path that I'm taking now and the things I talk about now, my mother does not understand. And she's here, and that's where I don't want to really affirm. I want to watch what I'm saying, what I'm affirming, but up until now, she's not willing to embrace anything that, you know, that I'm talking about in regards to, you know, law of attraction, spirituality, a little bit here and there, but it's still, you understand where I'm going with it.
I
So
do.
yeah, it's a hard, like you said, it can be hard, it can be lonely, especially when, you know, it kind of puts you at odds, or not really at odds, but a little distance between you and people that have been a intricate part of your life. But not to sound selfish, a lot of people do take it as that, but it's for your own good. You know, I mean, when you're seeking your journey, I mean, your path, and you're finding your purpose, and things like that. There's nothing that can. It can be very hard. It can be lonely, and a lot of people won't understand. You know,
Yeah.
and when you start expanding, you're on a different frequency now. A lot of people that you used to connect with, you don't connect with the same,
Mhm.
and that includes
Family.
family, parents, siblings, everything. So,
Yeah.
you know,
It is hard. So
yes,
it's extremely important to surround yourself with people that support you. So getting out and meeting people
right,
in the field that you are in,
right,
just surround yourself with those. My
right,
husband was the biggest support I could have. I don't know how to describe it other than that things just fell right into place.
right.
From
Flowing,
a
yeah,
point of
alignment.
falling apart, yeah,
Yes,
we just happened to just move
yes,
forward together, and I would not have been able to do what I've done without that support.
right,
Belief in myself wasn't enough. I needed that extra support of other people believing in me too. And once that
right,
happened, I just went straight up from there.
yes,
And I did have to disconnect from my family for a while.
right, right.
For a few
No, I
years,
get it.
they didn't speak, but I had to be okay with that. I had to realize that, you know what,
Yes,
if as a parent, I would want my child to, you know, follow their dreams, their path, even if it didn't
right,
agree with what I believed in. If they believed that they could do something, I'm going to be right behind on. But yes, go do that, even if it's something that I don't agree with. Just
right.
go for it, chase your dreams, become the person that you were meant to be. I didn't have that other than from my husband. So I
One thing I've come to understand is that awakening is a hard process, and a lot of people. This is just my perspective. I'm not setting any. This is law. This is my truth and what I have found through my journey. But a lot of people that, you know, that came the generation before me. Um, I would say they're really. I don't really want to say stuck, but hardwired programmed in believing a certain way, and it's
uh-huh.
really deeply embedded emotionally,
Yes.
mentally, and anything that you say outside of that is considered um, not good. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah,
So,
a
yeah,
nice word.
and it's labeled something not good. So yes, I am more. I don't really want to say used to it now, but it does not alarm me or surprise me anymore. And I just continue trying to just treat people with love and understanding, and doing, and still moving and doing my thing. And
Yes.
and at the same time, I'm thankful, just like you, that I'm in a space now of being open, where if someone, especially that I care about, is following some path that they really believe in, even if I don't agree with it, I'm in a space now, a mindset now, where I could be okay with that without condemning them or trying to make them feel bad, like, or not getting along with them, like kind of like what I received from family and
Mhm.
people close to me. And I'm not condemning any one of my family members, because I got to
They only know what
remember,
they know.
people can only meet you from the level of consciousness that they are.
Yes.
So yes, so I've learned not to allow that to discourage me and to cause me to think anything. At the time, it was frustrating. I'm gonna be honest with you. And sometimes it is still, I gotta be totally honest. But at the same time, I'm learning better and better how to deal with it, and without it disrupting my flow or knocking me off balance. So, just keep going, doing what you're doing. And part of what you said, meet other people. That's another reason why I created this platform. I enjoy talking with like-minded people, even if you have certain things that I don't do or may not, but I know the overall what's the word I'm looking for? Intention.
Yes.
Are around the same, which
Mhm.
is reaching towards our higher self. And then and then within that, that's why we can align and talk about similar things. And it's not a coincidence, but that's another reason why I created this platform, so that I can continue just to have a dialogue with like-minded, similar-minded people,
Mhm.
and share that. And I think that in itself is just very powerful. So yes,
Yes. And
amazing.
thank you for that.
Yes, keep
We
doing what
need
you're doing.
this.
Yes, keep doing what you're doing. Again, it's not permission, it's just encouragement. And just, you know, I've throughout my journey, my research, I found so much to encourage me just about transformation can be lonely because you're shedding old energies, and
Yeah.
don't worry about it. And even things about family too. And not in the hypocritical putting down or aspect, but just to encourage me, showing me that these people, these writers, these philosophers have encountered the same thing already. And just to be able to read someone's story that in regards to, people we may have known for our whole life and family, and to see that they went through that same thing, or are going through the same thing,
Mhm.
within their transformation and reaching, that just encouraged me even more. Like, wow, this is, because at the time it feels like it's just you. Like, what am I, like, I feel so lonely. But then you connect with other people, or you read, a book, by a famous author or something, and you read that same type of story. And, I can't read it word for word, but basically telling you that, you can experience distance from your mom, your dad, your this, that, because of your growth and transformation and awakening. I mean, that right there just was reaffirming for me. And now I no longer am in a place where I continue to need reaffirming in that aspect anymore. I understand now. I get it. So,
I wanted to add something kind of comical. Back in 2010, I actually produced, or I released my first children's book. And while I was working with this, I can't even, my publisher, I got a voicemail from them, and they called me Dr. Holt, which is my former last name, Dr. Holt,
right,
on the voicemail. And I started laughing. I'm like, where did they get that? And then I thought to myself, why can't I be Dr. Holt?
right,
And that's started the process of why can't I? And I started looking at schools and looked at the doctoral program from University of Sedona.
right,
Anyone can go through that. That's wanting to know a more spiritual education.
right.
It doesn't take 8 years. It's self-paced. It's all online, and they do hold graduations in Sedona, Arizona, which is
Wow.
gorgeous. A lot of amazing energy vortexes out there if you've never been.
Yes.
But
No, thank you for sharing this, because like I said, I'm certain that there's people out there that are either looking, or you just making them aware that something like this
right.
exists is
Mhm.
going to uh, lead them, to at least think about it. Because
Yeah.
I'm sure, because I'm gonna be honest with you. Uh, I thought about it. I said, hey, when I'm not going to say if, when
You're
I
right.
come into a substantial amount of money, I want to open up some type of new thought or law of attraction type school, which is based on principles of thinking, so that you can basically create your own, not thinking along the lines of, okay, and I'm not putting formal education down because it trains you to think, and I'm not saying that, but something different that will teach you to create your own, or to be able to start your own business based on whatever your talents, your gifts, your passion is. So
Yeah.
to nurture that. So, okay, say like, so it'll just nurture everything. Say like you like writing. Okay, well, we're going to nurture you in the way of, being a writer or author. Say you like drawing. We're going to nurture you in this, but we're going to also put these things in your mind, help you cultivate a mind of already seeing yourself as that, in this school. So that those aspects too, and reading all kinds of, getting everything together to cater to each student. So something like that, something along the lines of that, and it won't, like you said, it won't be a long drawn out program that takes years, maybe a year or two or so, something like that.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Just so you know, it already exists. You just got to get into that vibration. It's already there. It's already there.
Right. So, and I thought about it too. I said, I already visualized it. The school is going to be on some, in a tropical place, like on an island somewhere, maybe in the Caribbean or something like that. And then and the students can go out there, and it'll have meditation and yoga classes and just everything. But it's going to cultivate these basically thinking, towards your higher self, and towards basically, being able to, like I said, turn your gifts and your passions into something that can, that can sustain your life, So
I liked how when you were describing everything, your eyes were closed, because you could see so much better with your eyes closed.
I can see it. I can see it.
Isn't that amazing?
Sometimes it's hard for me to describe, but I can see it. I wish I could have the camera go in here and say, "Hey, look, see, this is what I'm talking about."
Look at this movie I'm playing in my.
Yeah, it's hard for me to articulate, but here, plug this computer in. Can you see it?
That'll happen one day.
I can imagine that. I can imagine students enrolling, and I'm having all kinds of programs where people can get, financial aid. Some less fortunate students can get scholarships and things like that. And then, especially the first, big class that comes in there will be filled with a lot of students that receive scholarships, so that those could be, they can have their testimonies as to how good, and how things worked out for them, because it's basically going to help them with not only their studies and getting along in the world, but this a mindset, basically giving them that mindset to know, no doubt, no poverty thinking, just everything is whatever you want to create, God in you, this is what you're doing, whatever. And we're going to cultivate and nurture that and let that type of thing. So I know it's coming. I know it is. It's already, like you said, it's already here. I just got to move into it. Just got to move into it. I got to bring it into the physical. It's already here.
Feel into it. Feel into it. Just,
yeah. So
bring it to you.
Yes. And I can see myself maybe a bit older, and this will be gray and it'll be longer, and I'll be one of the professors walking around, talking to each student.
Don't forget your eyepiece.
Oh yeah, I have my eyepiece. Oh yeah. So yeah, and probably
right
maybe a pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I can see that already. I've imagined it and dreamt about it a lot. So I already know there's really something magical and powerful to it. So that's amazing.
Best nation to live in is your imagination.
Right. Oh wow, I like that.
We don't get to visit the imagination as often as we need to. That's why I love meditation so much.
Right.
My imagination will just go all over the place, and I take notes because that's where the amazing ideas come through. How else do you think, Steve Jobs thought of things? It starts in the mind, and
it does.
Bring it forward.
and that I'm a big fan of an author, a philosopher by the name of Joseph Murphy, who
Ah,
has
yes.
yeah, book, The Power
Power
of
of
the
the
Subconscious
subconscious
Mind, and
mind.
just
Yes.
everything starts in the mind. And Neville Goddard, everything
Mhm.
starts in the mind. And wow, it just yeah,
Yep.
and
Read
yeah,
all those books.
yes,
They're
Neville Goddard.
amazing.
Who else is it? Earl Nightingale talks
Nightingale.
about talks about the mind and as a man thinketh and everything.
Hmm.
So just and that's the kind of books and philosophies that I'm going to have at the school. So we're going to read like this semester. We're going to read from books from Earl Nightingale. So we're going to read
Hmm.
from then Joseph Murphy, Neville Goddard. We're going to read about the Napoleon Hill. We're going to those type of
Yes.
studies,
Yeah.
just things like that.
Wayne
So
Dyer.
yeah, Wayne Dyer, Stuart Wilde, all these people, Louise Hay, all that. We're going to
Yes.
get into it. So
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah,
I'm
just
excited for your vision.
yes, I can see it, and I can see a lot of successful people, self-thinkers, just creating things. And like I said, I'm not trying to deter people from working for someone else, but because to me, that can be stepping stone. But don't let that be where you feel that that's where you have to be.
You don't have to
Because
settle.
yeah,
Yeah.
oftentimes I can say in my household, how I grew up, we were always cultivated that okay, go to school and work for somebody. Never was I ever encouraged, and I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that's the mindset that we were in. That you can just do this all and create your own vision and your own field and do it yourself. So that's what I want to cultivate and encourage kids to do, even if, like I said, even if they do go through time period where they're working a job for someone, they can learn social skills from that, learn appreciation from that, and at the same time work towards their vision at
Yep.
the same time. So but just to cultivate that mindset that it's not something that's impossible or just selected just for these people over here and not them. So and your vision of being a flower arranger or this, it's not ridiculous. You can actually make something out of that, or being a lighting person that just, or whatever it is that you enjoy doing. I want to tap into that and give them the resources to find out how to make that something that's life sustaining, and because they're going to do the best at what they enjoy doing. People do the best at what they love to do. So why not? And a lot of people say, well, I can't make a living doing this. Why not? Because if this world is so big, whatever you can create, you're going to find somebody that's going to like it or buy into it or whatever.
Yep.
So why not? Why not? People have done it so much in the past, painting and music and whatever it might be, dance, theatrics, whatever, medicine, hypnotherapy. I mean, all these things are relatively new in the mainstream. And look, they're finding people that need it. So life coaching, everything, sound bowls, all that stuff. So it's not nothing that comes from your intuition, from your inner voice, from the universe is ridiculous. It was put there for a reason. So then let's find out that reason and nurture that reason and get you into that. And that's my vision. So I want to get back to you. So how can people, I'm going to get your, I think I already have them, and I'm going to make sure that they're all connected, your links all connected to this video once I upload it. But can you tell us how can people find you and seek your expertise, your services, all that?
Yeah, you can go to drebeling.com without the period behind the doctor. And I have all my hypnotherapy, past life regression, herbal salves on my website. So you can, if you're wanting to try some herbal salves, you know where to find me now.
Right. I think I'm gonna.
It's linked to
I
my
think I'm
Etsy
gonna hit
account.
you up in that regards because I'm a big advocate and fan of natural medicine.
Yeah.
I even have some friends that have that are dabbling in CBD medicine. So yeah,
I've
and
had
it's
people that were doing CBD salves try mine, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, it works just as good, if not better, and it's so much cheaper than CBD salve." So
right. Okay,
yeah,
so
it's
we're gonna have to.
another alternative. Not that CBD works amazing,
No,
but if
no,
it's
no.
something
I
that
get it.
it's you want to try something different, yeah.
Right.
dreebling.com. I
So
have
you can order it through your website.
Yeah, you can go to there's a tab on my website for herbal salves, and that'll like click here to order this, and it'll take you to my Etsy page. And I make small batches so I can keep them as concentrated as possible to get the most
Right.
benefit in the medicine. So if for some reason I'm out or it's sold out, don't worry, check back often, because I'm continuously making it, because I can't stop. It's
Okay.
so beneficial.
Absolutely. And the same website, if people want to work with you with hypnotherapy or sound bowl or past life regression,
Yep,
same website.
my phone number's listed on there. There is a contact window too that links it to my email that I don't get to see right away. So the best way to contact me is on the phone number there. You can shoot me a text or a call. I might not be able to answer because I might be in session, but I do online sessions if that's something that someone wants to do. The past life regression, 2 hours long, and it is recorded, so you can listen to it and reflect back on it as often as you need to.
Right.
I prefer in person, because I can actually see the person's responses to the questions that I ask. It's fully interactive, but the clinical hypnotherapy side too can definitely be online as well. So if that's something that someone is needing, I am available for that.
Right. Right. Thank you for sharing all your amazing gifts and passions and perspectives in regards to just helping people. And you have you know what intrigues me about you is not only do you have the formal education, but you just further educate yourself. And that reminds me, that part reminds me of me as well, and people that I've been attracting. We are curious, we want to learn, and
Yes.
everything to do with our passions and gifts. We want
Mhm.
to know about it. And
Yeah.
that
Stay
way
curious. Yeah.
yes, that way we can not only seek the best course of action for ourselves, but for other people as well. When you really are well, and I don't want to put anyone down, but when you really are, when you really have a passion for something, you're going to make sure that you uncover everything and that you learn everything about it, because
You're
that
right.
excitement and that passion drives you to do so. And
Yes.
those are the people you really want to uh, work with, especially when you're seeking services along that line. So
Mhm.
I highly recommend uh, people to seek you out and
Thank you.
ask some questions if they're unsure of whether they
Yeah.
fall into a I don't want to say category, but you know that needs your assistance. I mean, just to talk to you, because you seem to be just well versed on just a lot of things, and
A lot of things.
a lot
Never
of
stop learning. Never
yeah, a
stop
lot of
learning.
alignment and the chakras and the mental and the past life and the and
Yeah.
in the medicine for pain. And that right there, just those few things right there are very an asset to humanity, because
Mhm.
uh, pain and past life, and just everybody wants to find a way to be balanced and just pain free and have their
Yeah.
mindset right. And if speaking with you, working with you can help achieve that, then that's what I say. I suggest, I encourage people to look you up, and just out of curiosity, look you
Yeah.
up and see what you have going on.
Yeah. Stay curious. Mhm.
Yes, amazing. And thank you again for
You, Luke, for having me.
yeah, thank you again, Kia, for
Appreciate you and what
yeah.
you're doing and your vision, because it already exists.
Yes, and so does yours. I know you have a few visions there we probably didn't tap into, but you know what? That means that you have to come on again. Um, and then maybe we'll get into some of those. But I know you have some visions. You're going to keep having visions and next level things. It's not going to stop. No, no
Never.
way. You know,
Nope.
no way. The universe is going to keep giving you ideas and
Yes.
okay, you're ready for this level now, and it's just going to keep expanding and growing. And you know, I know this. So thank you very much again, and thank you everyone for watching. And I know you're going to appreciate this as much as I have. I just know it. And I will see you soon here on Enlightened, Empowered, Evolve. Peace and love and appreciation to everybody.
Thank
See you
you.
soon. Thank you.